Hello and Namaste, my name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is very special because it is a very highly requested video. In today's video, we're going to talk about money. Yes, we're going to talk about salaries, how much money can you make in North America, and all of the fun stuff. So stick around. Okay, so full disclosure, I've completed 4 years in North America, and whatever I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be all of those 4 years combined. So when you ask me the question, how much money does an Indian chartered accountant make in Canada or in the US? That question is not very simple because it has a lot of questions in it. So I'm going to be breaking that question down in 5 segments in this video. Number 1 is compensation and salary. So when you are asking somebody, what is your salary in Canada or US, that's probably not the appropriate question to ask. Why? Because here the right term to use is compensation. Canada gets 26 paychecks generally, US has 24. So in Canada you get paid every 2 weeks. In the US you get paid twice in a month. Salary of course is just that paycheck, but compensation goes above and beyond. A lot of employers also provide other benefits like medical, retirement, some have bonuses in, some have target compensation. So just asking the salary may not be appropriate, only because what an employee ends up making at the end of their term with the employer is not just the paycheck. It is obviously the paycheck plus the benefits that they've gotten, like the dental, medical, extended healthcare, retirement, vision, a bunch of those things combined. So when you are doing your research and asking people, the right question probably would be, what is the compensation like? The second thing to understand is the compensation structure. Now, of course, we've spoken about compensation and how it includes a lot of other things, and it's not just salary, but compensation structure is also very important. Every employer has their unique compensation structure, meaning some employer prefer giving retirement benefits, some employer prefer giving medical benefits, extended healthcare, medical, vision, all of it together. Some employers are famous for their bonuses. Some employers prefer giving more in base compensation, which means that the paycheck that you get, though that paycheck is probably higher, but you don't have a bonus component, or you have a bonus which is significantly lesser. So it really depends on what the compensation structure of each employer is like. Obviously, when you are negotiating, it's important to understand, are you getting the basic benefits? Are you going to get the medical benefits? If not, then you may have to go and look for an outside provider. Are you going to be getting retirement benefits? If not, your financial planning will have to differ. So it's a lot of things that come into consideration. Now coming to number 3. The designation doesn't define compensation. This is very important to understand. A lot of people have asked me, okay, you're a senior, how much money do you make? Honestly, designation defines nothing about your compensation. So then what is it that actually determines your compensation? I would say those are broadly 2 things. 1, what is the bandwidth of your employer? Meaning how big is your employer? How big is their presence locally and internationally? And 2, what is your role with the employer? Meaning, what is it that you're contributing every day when you go into work? You will be very surprised to know that being an Indian chartered accountant, being a US CPA or a Canada CPA is actually secondary. All of these are first. So you could very well be a senior in a Fortune 500 company who is in financial planning and analysis, and you could be making much more than someone who is a director in some smaller company. Now, when I talk about the roles and responsibilities, this is probably, again, extremely important to understand. So a lot of people have asked me, how much do you make as a senior internal auditor? And you see my designation, which is a senior auditor, but that's not only my role. You have to consider my role description. What is it that I do at work every day? Is it just doing audit? Is it just doing SOX? Is it just doing external audit? So what is it that I do at work every day? That determines my compensation. So do not go by my designation or qualification, because that does not say anything about the kind of money that I'm going to make. So when you are doing your research and trying to understand how much does a certain person like an audit executive get paid in Canada, your research has to be very, very refined in the sense that you have to research in different industries. If you're going to be doing audit in public accounting, you're going to be paid a certain money. If you're going to be doing audit in, say, internal audit, you're going to be paid a certain money. If you're going to be doing something completely different like financial planning and analysis, you're going to be paid a different money. So you could pretty very well be a CPA or a chartered accountant, but it truly depends on what your role is and what your contribution is to the employer. So I hope that I have clarified that whether you are an Indian chartered accountant or a CIA or a CFE or a Canadian CPA or a US CPA, your qualifications will not affect what you make. They will definitely affect the kind of opportunities you get. And that is why it is important to have those certifications in, because the kind of opportunities you get will only come in once you have the local certifications. But they will not directly correlate to your paycheck or your compensation. What I also noticed was that sometimes I've seen roles like directors and senior managers, etc., that have been advertised on Indeed. The pay structure for that has been lower than what I make right now as a senior. That's not because I'm getting paid more than the market. That's just because my employer, the bandwidth of my employer is different. My compensation structure is different. And almost all employers in my employer's bandwidth, like employers who are certain size, that bandwidth pays similarly. So I'm not getting paid over the market, but of course the roles that are offered like directors or senior managers or even at some points vice presidents or assistant vice presidents, the roles have been of smaller companies or the designation has been such, but there are no direct reportees. So now coming to the most important question, is the money going to be enough? So if you are an Indian chartered accountant and you've moved to Canada, you've just moved to Canada, you're still looking for opportunities and you've started off with a survival job, obviously you're not going to make as much as what a chartered accountant generally would make or a CPA generally would make doing the regular CA or CPA responsibilities. To get to that kind of financial stability, it does take some time. But that being said, even survival jobs pay enough for you to come in here, survive and have a decent life. I have a lot of friends who actually do survival jobs and I've never heard them complain. They obviously don't have to borrow money from back home. If you're going to ask, hey, will I be able to take lavish vacations? Probably not, but you will have enough. That being said, when we are looking at compensation that we make as for roles that we are actually qualified to do. So for example, if there is an Indian chartered accountant or if there is a US or a Canadian CPA or a CIA, CFE who are doing the role that they've studied for, like if you're doing audit, accounting, financial planning, analysis, you could very well be making somewhere between 60K to 100K annually. Now, this is of course the whole compensation structure. You will be paying up taxes and you'll be paying your retirement benefits and your other benefits. So all of that is separate, but this is the overall compensation. Is that money enough? I would say yes. When I started off in the US, the money that I made was enough for me to even have a family on a single income. But I do want to specify it here. My husband, even though he's a doctor, he was still finishing up his training. He started as a full-time attending. So he's trained for 14 years. You know how much doctors have to train. As trainees, you don't really make a lot of money. Even then, it is enough to sustain a family. And given the two of our incomes, we've been able to have 2 cars. We've paid off both the loans. And we've been able to take vacations every year. And we obviously take nice vacations. We want to go and explore new countries. We've been able to go back to India. We've been able to call our families here. We've been able to take trips around. And so it's definitely been comfortable, way more comfortable, and it's not been a struggle at all. Yes, we've had to manage our finances a certain way, but overall it's not really been a lot of struggle. I do want to mention that we had no loans when we came in. So if you're going to be asking me, can an Indian chartered accountant or a US CPA or a Canadian CPA make enough money in Canada? I'm going to say, yes, you can. It totally depends on the kind of role. I do want to say it may take time. I'm at a certain stage after 4 years of being in North America. I did not start off with a survival job. I started off with a regular job, and even that job paid very well. So don't worry about it. Even if you have to come in and do a survival job, you're still going to make enough to sustain yourself. And once you get a regular job, you will have a very good life. The life that you actually want. You can have assets, you can have your own savings, and you can have vacations, you can have a good life, a comfortable life here. That just may take a little more time, or it may not take any time at all. So that's all, you guys. I hope this video helped you understand the compensation structure. Like I mentioned, somebody like me doing a senior auditor role, just basic SOX compliance is probably going to make anywhere between 60K to 100K. I know it's a wide range, but it really depends on the responsibilities and the bandwidth of the employer, the amount of travel involved, the amount of work involved, how much brains you're using at work, how much monotonous work you're doing. So it's a lot of all of that involved, but in the end, it's definitely enough to sustain you completely here. Hope this video helps you and hope it helps you when you're considering immigration in your life. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. If you have any questions, don't forget to drop them in the comments below. Please give this video a big thumbs up and see you again. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.